My name is Travis. I'm here with Dice. We're here with some amazing guests to talk about how we can connect to the youth to stop youth violence. I'm here with some amazing guests to talk about their experience. So, I want to go in order and you guys tell me what you guys do. Sharif.
So my name is Sharif. I'm a university student. I'm studying banking and finance. Yeah, something I'm very passionate about, really enjoy. And yeah, that's what I do right now currently.
My name's Kurobo, KB for short, and I'm an events manager trying to start up my own business and support entrepreneurs on building a program as well.
Hi, my name's Khadija. Some people know me as Kads. I am a bartender, cocktail bartender, an aspiring animation artist, and a 3D artist as well.
So a lot of talent in this room, Sharif, you wanna speak to the people, ask them a few questions.
What's your favorite podcast, or what's the most recent podcast you listen to, and why?
I'll start off with something that I watched yesterday, which was called Past the Maker, and I wrote it's all joy jokes and bants because of the fact that they not only do their own add their own twist to it being that they animate it. And they got their own GC to chat about topics, keep the vibes up, chat about stories and life in general. And the way they do it is always vibes, and it's just something to binge. And they got a couple series out there too.
Okay, so what makes you so connected with the podcast? Is it just the animations, or what draws you to it?
I say the animations are great because of the fact that you can actually visually see their stories as well. So they could be chat about everything. Even your mom saying that you stole something from the store and you didn't even remember it. Okay. They can visualize that clearly and make it sound like your stories actually come to life. And from there, there's always just jokes, fans. They're always trying to mix something up, do a few games, and make it sound like everyone's just always there for vibes and just something.
I feel that. What about yourself?
Recently, I just listened to Black Girls Living. It's these two girls, black girls from Essex, talk about mental health, shenanigans. The reason I love it as well because they caught me on a off chance when I was just going on my way to work, and they were speaking about pride. It was a time of pride and just their thoughts and how pride affected people and even Black Pride as well. They mentioned how excited they were, and yeah, that's what I like.
By yourself?
Yeah, I'll probably say my favorite recent podcast. I'll probably say Fresh and Fit. I know it can sound a bit controversial and a lot of people's got a lot to say about them, but me, I really enjoy listening to Myron from Fresh and Fit because even though they've got a bit of controversial views which some I agree with to a certain degree, I find them very entertaining and somewhat inspiring because at the end of the day, they've grown a huge fan base. A lot of especially young males, they look up to them. They're trying to basically tell young men you still have a chance to make it in life. You still have a chance to better yourself. You still have a chance to find your purpose and just live the life that you want to live. So yeah, it's Fresh and Fit is a must watch Fresh and Fit.
Would you say they should watch the same others that you guys mentioned as well?
If you've got something to binge, if you've got time, it's on YouTube, easy accessible, and it's jokes. So yeah.
Yeah.
You said the same as well?
Yeah, I would. I think all podcasts you should at least have a little listen to. You never know what might, grab you.
I feel for me with podcasts, I love them, but sometimes because of my schedule, I can only listen to 10, 15 minutes and then I'm off. Do you know what I mean? I mean, for you guys, what kind of draws you into a podcast that makes you want to listen more?
I think I'll probably say for me, like I said, it's just unfortunately we live in an age where, for example, controversy sells. Everybody wants to hear something that, it's gonna get people, unfortunately, get on people's nerves. I'm not trying to say that, saying bad things and triggering people is the best way, but unfortunately we live in an age where people like to hear people say controversial things. So I think, not too controversial, but just a little bit of controversy, and probably just even visuals as well. Like what draws me to someone's podcast is like, you know, the visuals, that you can tell that they actually put in a lot of time, effort into making sure that it's, you know, 4K HDR OLED. So
Yeah, I hear that.
so like I like visuals as well. Visuals is what captures me, definitely.
Okay. I feel that. A lot of like good collectors in terms of podcasting, because I feel like there are a lot of gems you can find in podcasts, you know, which is not really said nowadays. But definitely I might have to start watching some more, because from today there's a couple I'm gonna start listening to. But yeah, so Sharif, I know that there was a couple questions you wanted to, you know, ask everyone here, you know, so we can connect with the youth pretty much.
Where is it? Why did you decide to join the podcast with Dice? Like, what was your reason?
I mean, I'll be real, it's for the vibe. Like, the way we can actually just like be here, speak our truth, and we all got stories and we all got different lives as well. So we just connected that and see how it goes, or just literally just talking and seeing how our stories are. Like, I'll definitely put my time into that. And for me, what drawn me into doing this podcast is just allowing it, so that means I can speak my truth as well. Like, keeping it 100 as well as making it so that means I can allow it, so that means people can understand my story, I can understand theirs, and make it so that means there's more life, peace and blessings for people too.
Amen to that.
Rasta.
I like that. No? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is your truth? I mean, because you use the word truth a lot. So, like, what is your truth, pretty much?
Mine, I would say, is being seen instead of being misunderstood. Because I say, like, a lot of my life, I've just made it so that means people could try to have their own understanding of me, and that raises bare opinions, bare of what they believe is true. When you could just ask the question and not be so surprised about it. Because even literally yesterday, I got told I was 25 years old, not even in my 20s.
Okay.
So, like, I'll be real, I can't complain, because I've been told that I'm older, but
Got a mature spirit. That's what it's called.
but I still always try to put myself out there, always trying to keep an open mind vibe, and just raise the soul if I can every day.
I feel that. What about everyone else? Does everyone else have like a truth that they kind of keep to in a way, or like a motto, pretty much?
A motto, in a sense, just kind of like yours. Be true to yourself. Be authentic, and goodness will always come back to you. I think that's my motto in life. That, and also, I live by yin yang. There's always good in the bad and bad in the good. So whatever you think you're going through, try and see the good in it. Whatever bad you're going through, well, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, good in the bad in the good, basically. But yeah, that's my motto.
What about yourself? Do you have a motto as well?
What's my motto? I'll probably say, just be you, innit? You know what I'm saying? Just be the prize. Be you.
Fresh weekly.
Live it up, man.
Just be the prize. That's it. I always tell myself I'm the prize, so just be the prize.
I'll say, like,
just you know, you are your greatest power. So that's just my motto every single day. Always make sure. And I just wanted to ask everyone as well that what's your like unique like selling point? Like, what is it? Like, what makes you different, and what makes you stand out from everyone else?
I'll say, the first thought that came in mind is that I'm a person to just, I would every single time that I would try to like write something, like me being a creator, I would always title it as an upbeat truth. Just make it sound means if I'm gonna be writing about something, will it be personal to me or writing it for someone else? Like seeing it through their eyes, but writing their words for them. Like, I always try to let it sound means a truth can be told. And from there, I started making stories, making songs, even making my own quotes as well. And I'll say, like, one quote I'll probably put out there is, be loyal to your greatness. And allow it so that means whatever, no matter who you are, whatever you can achieve, whatever you can build and grow, it doesn't matter if you're unique, it doesn't matter if you're special. Just reach your potential for your greatness, and you can achieve that.
I hear that. See, we need to have you for president. You know, I'm not gonna lie. We need to kick the rest of the parliament out and have you for president. You know, all right. By the end of this show, We're gonna post a vote. All right. Should we have it for president? I think we should. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. What about yourself? Like,
I think not to center it around queerness, but I am a person, like a queer person of color. I wasn't born here, so I came up to England in my late, like, just hitting teens. So all of my experience has been kind of lived experience because I've been taken from one place and put into the next, which has given me a lot of global perspective about things and situations. I think I'm quite fluid in my masculinity and femininity, and I'm quite emotionally intelligent. So that's what I think makes me a bit unique than other people. I've come from a small place. I've understood that what I've lived in my past. I always look, Zach said something, I always look at my past as lessons and not, trauma. And really learn from them and like just try and grow as a person. And anyone I see that might have gone through what I've gone through or might be on the road from there, try and like give my lived experiences to help them and help them in terms of like how I overcome them. It might not be the same for you, but at least you have a starting point and how to get over them.
I think that's very interesting because I think, nowadays with the youth, being vulnerable is something that we, struggle to do. So, you mentioned about obviously being queer and, in your own sexuality. What would be your advice to the youth for those that maybe could be like struggling to sort of kind of come out and kind of express themselves who they are?
My advice would be there's always space. Just keep reminding yourself that there's always space for you. There's always space for what you bring and what your uniqueness is. Your sexuality is always something that is on the side. Of course, it can be your brand, as in you can be a queer person, but there's so much more to that. And although the world might see you for just your sexuality, trust me, it's just them projecting. The world is so much more bigger. There's so many more important things like your creative side, your authentic side, your touching, your empathy. So my advice would be like, don't be scared of who you are. Don't feel ashamed. And there's definitely, although you might feel alone and you're in a struggle, just reach out to a friend about it and it might help you just solidify what route you're going down. So you don't get in your head and think, oh, it's just me, it's wrong, it's not right, it's da-da-da-da-da. There's always space for you. And there's always someone else that has gone down your road. So just reach out to a friend.
Yeah, I definitely do connect with that. I think a lot of times, like, especially with what you mentioned as well, where everything's so closed off in a way, and sometimes talking to people can be a bit hard. I mean, what would you say, like, considering we're here to talk about the youth, we're here to tell see how we can possibly connect with them. I mean, what was you guys' time at school? Especially with, I know you mentioned it, you touched on it a little bit, but what was you guys' time at school, pretty much?
So it's either rumours, drama, and not so much about education.
Okay.
But like I'll be real, I learned a lot of things outside of school that I learned inside of school. Okay. And that was just like social stuff as well. Or it'd be like learning the Whipper came out, or just like bringing it back to like musically as well. Like just knowing stuff that you actually are interested and want to get into, that's outside of school. Okay. And then everything inside of school, it's just sentence. It's just time that you gotta have to fit into it.
I agree with that.
But still, like,
that is true.
I ain't gonna put education down, because education is a powerful weapon to change the world. But it's just hard how people actually try and put it on you as well.
I see. But to touch on that, because I mean, we see that a lot of times within the youth, especially for what I do, outside of all of this, I'm a recruiter. I help people get into schools and stuff like that. And we are seeing a massive, dropout rate of kids dropping out in school. I mean, what do you think is the reason to why kids are dropping out, pretty much?
I probably think support, inequality, and feeling invisible. I remember coming, as I said, I came up here from the Caribbean and I was put in bottom set for everything without even a question, without even a test. And although I articulate myself well, I had to learn that outside of school. And even like I remember doing homework or just asking the teacher for help. It wasn't really seen as a good thing. Your brethren would be like, bro, you get extra time. Who's like, who do you think you like? That kind of stuff. It was still like, it's still stigmatized within the youth culture. And if it wasn't, you would help so much. Like my little brothers, they both get support. They're both obviously not to the standard that they need to be, but at least they're accepting support. And I find that so interesting as well, because not to say that I know a lot about men and their culture, but a lot of men, black men especially, are suppressed into accepting help. Don't cry, don't ask for help, like be a man, So I think it's really, I find it very good that they're accepting the help now, and it's not looked and frowned upon and stigmatized within the youth culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even flowing from that as well, like for me, even though people try to give me those like viewpoints or like thoughts and try to envision it like that, for me, I just had to consider it as if I trusted, whether it be my school or the people in there as well, or even the support that they try to give. Because even if some may be friendly, you don't know if that's being two-faced or not. So even if you try to put in your best or show your best, you know there's either another person is saying, oh yeah, they're top 10 in the class, so that means you're always going to be in set 3, you're always going to be put down there. So it doesn't matter if you try to reach for the top, because people are doing that effortlessly. So for people who have to just say, oh yeah, do I have to take this help, even though it may be the one thing that be able to pass me for my grade and actually reach college or this and that, there's not a lot of, I feel like people need to actually put in trust within the young people.
Of course.
Because they're just living their lives, and they've got told, yeah, you got everything, you got all these opportunities, you got to focus on everything. But they don't focus on one important thing.
Of course.
Trust in them, so that means they can actually reach on what they want to give within their life, the potential that they want to go through. But I'll say if they don't do that first step, then you're just telling everyone to just make your own plan, try to sort it out your own way.
Yeah.
One thing that came to, sorry not to cut you off, one thing that came to my mind as well is like, you know, we all had our favorite teachers. I remember specifically like the teachers that didn't like me. I didn't do well in them class. I didn't do well in them class, whether they had their own prejudices or whatever it is. Maybe it might be the teachers are not how teachers should be in our mind, you know what I mean? Because that teacher that you like, they went the mile. They went like, did you do your homework? Grip shot by your neckline. But it got you to do the work. And then even I loved art, I loved science, I loved maths. Those classes I excelled in. And I actually reached to the top set. But it was because the teachers were like, what's this? Do it properly. But they actually were doing the extra work. The teachers that didn't do that, you fade into the background, you don't do the homework. You come into a class, you don't do your homework, and the teacher don't ask you. You don't need to.
Yeah.
I think for me, school, for me, I'll probably say for me, school, I wasn't really like, I mean, like, for example, I used to get in trouble in school a lot. Like, I've been, like, I wasn't, how can I explain that? I wasn't one of those kids where I was, like, super, like, I've got, like, serious behavioral issues where, like, I'm always excluded. Like, everybody knew that
like
one
you love
kid.
being excluded.
Yeah, like, everyone knew that one kid. Everybody,
like it's a free holiday.
He'd been excluded 3 days later. He's excluded again. Like I wasn't one of those kids. But I think, for me, I think, like you said, I think, in my opinion, school was for me was very like, it's like society, like it's divided, like everyone's divided in groups. Like you've got the
Top set, bottom
yeah,
set.
like you got all the kids that get violated, just peak. You got all the kids, you got the man that get all the girls. Yeah, you got the girls who get all the male attention. You got the girls that wanna follow the girls who get all the male attention. So like, you know, you could just see like how like. I just look at it as like a own mini little world, like
Mini
schools.
society.
Yes, their own mini society. Everyone's trying to, you know, fit in. Everyone's trying to.
So their clicks and their
Yeah,
groups.
you know what I'm trying to say. But I think with school as well, it's I'm not gonna lie, it was like school was a lot for me. Like some of the, like I said, like some of the teacher scandals was just crazy, man. Like,
we've all heard some before. You
bro,
know?
honestly, like I think some of the teachers was just crazy. I don't want to get too, you know, too into it, but for me, I just think the teachers scandal, and I just think I'm not gonna lie, even though it was about, you know, supposed to be about having, you know, getting an education, but I'm not gonna lie, the British education system is just pretty much a laugh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a joke.
Yeah, pretty much just literally a laugh. Like people don't really learn anything. People are just there for just vibes and just as long the day just goes by. That's pretty much it. So like, I think it's the government. The government needs to like, it's either to just lock off the system or just recreate a
keep the
new one.
system
Homeschooling
updated.
straight for everyone.
Huh?
Homeschooling straight for everyone.
Pretty much, or just do like, if you don't want to, I tell the government, like, I tell Rishi that you're yeah, if these kids don't want to go to school, you better just find a different way. Like, if they don't want to go to school, let them do something else, at least something productive. So
I mean, sometimes they even go that route as well. Like for me, when I did like 4 years in one school, and then in year 11 they thought about, no, yeah, we're gonna switch you into a whole different school.
Wow.
Changed my whole life.
That is
Yeah.
a lot.
And just made it so it means like for me it was outside as well. Like I had to change homes, had to change schools, and just like work out meeting new people. So I felt like it was a new fresh start. But like for them saying that like I didn't have a choice within, like they didn't give me the right time to make a choice if I wanted to change schools or not. Like even if I couldn't say the word saying yes or no, I wanted to do it or not, they made that decision for me. So either way, they make it so it means they put you in other schools where you're in a whole different environment with different people. You don't even know who they are, but they could just be acting different.
Of course.
And you gotta see if you work with them or not. And if not, then you're on your ones inside a school that you gotta work hard on.
Of course. 100%.
and thanks man, thanks for telling us that. I just wanna move on to the next thing. Give me one word that comes to your mind when talking about reducing youth violence.
One word.
Yeah.
Reducing it.
I've got loads of words for that, but for reducing youth violence, one word. I think it's just optimistic. That's the I think the best word I can use right now is optimistic. Yeah, I let everyone think of a word, but for me, optimistic stays very clear for me.
I would say empathy. I think empathy sticks to me because considering how much it does take to reduce youth violence, I think empathy needs to be there to understand the root issues, the solution, and the result on a whole. I'd say empathy.
I'd say my word would probably be spirit. Because as much as people can try to whether be having the right morals or trying to see what they can do within life, if they have the spirit to at least trust someone or even make a bond with them, to make it so that means they can actually just get through this life right and have the right people to make it so that means you can actually excel far. Then I feel like that's the spirit people need to actually find for.
I think accountability as well. Because at the end of the day, like you said, there has to be some form of, like, we have to find like the problem, and there has to be some form of accountability. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people talk about youth violence, or the media, the politicians, GB News, Good Morning Britain, all these media, but the same people complaining about it are the same people that aren't doing nothing to do it. They're not doing nothing to help. It just doesn't make sense. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say about like Susanna Reid, Piers Morgan, all these presenters and all of that. Like I said, they're always talking about youth violence, but why do you use your millions that you get paid to all the month to actually like do something to better the community then, instead of just sitting on a TV screen saying, hey, like, youth violence is this, that. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there has to be some form of accountability to that. That's what I think. Yeah.
And I definitely do connect with that, especially with the word I use, optimistic. I feel like everyone's very black and white when it comes to finding out solutions, but we forget that things have colours. So maybe we don't have to go this black and white route. Maybe we can do different things, because one, with the youths nowadays, they learn differently, and plus their attention span is very small. And I mean, you said 20 seconds, they're drawn in. After 20 seconds, they're out.
This is an hour-long lecture.
Exactly. So for me, I feel like it's just that optimism a little bit. So for me, but I mean, that kind of leads on to, when in your experience, like, have you ever engaged in any sort of youth violence, or have you seen that? Like, what's been a bit of your story?
I've engaged a little bit in my younger years, and that was through, like, when I was really depressed. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I had no family connections, and it was through having family members that have been through it as well.
Mm.
I'm not going to say too much on it, but I definitely think that time of my life, I didn't have access to knowledge to know what was right and wrong. Of course, you know what right and wrong is, but in that particular situation, what right and wrong was. And then two, because I present very masculine sometimes, but I want to tell you, my energy is quite balanced within feminine and masculine energy. When I was engaging in it, I had to actually use my intuition and like be very aware of how I present and how I speak, because it's youth violence at the time when I was doing it was very heavily male dominated. And if I wasn't, kind of intuitive about the situation I was in, I could end up on the wrong side of, whatever it is. But I'm a very resilient person. As I said, I learned from I look at my past as lessons, not mistakes. But I know some people don't have that. Some people get stuck in the trap. So I think my advice would just be like, you're not alone. Whatever you think you're doing, someone else has done it, and there's always a solution out. But I've again, because I have a strong head on my shoulders, I knew what I was doing. Once it was over, I knew I didn't ever want to do that again. So, yeah, that was my only experience of, engaged in youth violence. And I hopefully no one wants to engage in it, or,
I mean, from that, like, I've had times of had that, being in, like, that bad space. And that bad space can just be in your head as well, and just makes you feel like you want to get out, but you can't get out of your own head. So you've got to be inside the storm that you're at. For me, the most highest I could see when I was in that state was that I was just meditating. Like, even though this may not be the right place or the right time for me, I still have responsibility for my actions and the things that I do. So if I was going to do something that's great for me, then I'm going to try to do it. If I'm going to do something that will benefit me, even if it's for selfish reasons, or even if it feels like I want to get like Air Forces or something, I don't got the fees, I don't got no money for it, so I'm going to have to do something. But if I'm keeping it 100, I'll say, as much as I was the person who, I knew what it was, and I wasn't going to get involved, but I knew people who were on it. Like one guy named, I'm gonna call him Rizzy, because of the fact that he had that face of it. But like Rizzy, he was on doing a thing, as well as would always ask you, even though he was the guy with peas, everyone knew him because of the fact that he was cash, but he would always ask you for £2 for lunch. But
I feel that.
I know Rizzy was the type of person to either get you involved with it, or tell you just give me a call, 5 minutes, and you got something. But I was just always the type of person to like take back, play the whole scenario in my head, and see if I reach that final bit of the thought where I'm like, I will get caught, or I'll make it out. No matter how many decisions I make, I always think to myself, there's a universe out there that I would definitely do this. There's a person out there who would definitely make these actions and let it happen and reach whatever they reach. But for me, as much as I could turn that thought into creativity, if I can turn that thought into trying to push it outside, means I don't have that intention in mind, that reaction to it, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. But like process it more and actually not do it. I feel like that just got me out from that space.
I can add to that. I feel like a lot of time, I think one thing I've noticed a lot of it, or what you guys are saying, is more like internal in a way, and you need to fix what's internal before pouring it out, sort of thing. And I definitely do connect with that.
Cheers for that, guys. What's your experience like engaging youth violence? I mean, I don't mind. I would like to go first, if that's okay. I think my experience in engaging youth violence, like I said previously, I know people that was involved in, like, for example, like gangs and like road, and you know, getting caught up in doing the wrong things. Like, I wasn't that sort of person where I was in the front line, just out there like doing the madness. But thank God, because I've had like positive role models in my life to, you know, make sure I don't stir myself into that sort of environment. But for me, yeah, because I used to live in Holly Street, so like, I used to live with my auntie in Holly Street, so I was literally like in Hackney, Fields, and Holly Street was like hot, like the beef was hot, and my house was literally right in front of where all these men used to live, like literally all of these men, like they was just there, literally right outside. And I remember one time, one of these I don't know, I think one of these guys from Holly Street tried to recruit me. So I was coming from school. I was in my uniform. I was going home, and I was walking past them, and then they were like, where is it? There was like, I walked past them, right, and then there was like, are you Holly Street? And I was like, no, I'm not Holly Street. And then there was like, oh, don't worry, one day you will be. And I was like, right. And there's, but I know there was, for me, I know it was just like, I know I was never in my life ever gonna get myself involved in none of that. But I still remember that day. I think I was like 15 years old when they told me that. And then and then I remember one time. I remember one time where there was one time where someone, I'm not gonna say no names. I was in his house, and he had just he just had some long like zombie night. But at least like that was the time. I got so scared, I wasn't. I mean, I didn't show it, but I was shook. I was like, because I never thought this guy was a person like that used to do. Because you know when you used to chill with guys, yeah, you wouldn't think that like this guy's actually on that, like he's about that life. You wouldn't think
he's chill, and then after that you see the ZKs, AKs.
Yeah, you just see him like raw, like this guy
different
actually,
story, different life.
just a different side of him. And because I never thought, because before when I was at school, we used to play football, you know, talk about girls, talk about games, but I never knew like he had like all these stuff. So that was the time, like, that's when I realized like, raw, like this guy's just going crazy.
It's
so
mad, you know.
yeah, but that's probably one of like the deepest moment, like when you just put the time when you just pulled it out and just said, hey, look at this, like I was like, raw, like that's what you're on now. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. What about you guys?
I think more so like, especially for everything that you guys have said, like with those experiences, obviously, you know, those that are watching this, there's different children who have gone through and seen and felt what you've gone through. But I think more so like nowadays what I tend to hear, even from like my little cousins and family who are part of that youth, you know, how do I get out? You know, what's the next move? So I think you were mentioning doing some entrepreneurial stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously we see a lot of children who you would say get recruited in that sort of aspect. But, you know, what would you say for, you know, the children? What would be a good solution for the children not to go on that route? And how have you managed to use your entrepreneurial skills to kind of get yourself out of that route pretty much?
I mean, for me, I had to, when I was in that age, I had to do my own space, my own time, which means I had to make myself believe that I was under a rock about everything. Even if I knew people's businesses, I was not going to get involved. Like, as much as people try to say, oh yeah, do you want to step out, do this, do that, even if you know where it's going to lead or not, there's always going to be a situation where you're going to get put into something. So I usually just stayed incognito, pretended that, oh yeah, I'm just under a rock right now, I don't know everything's happening. Because rumors always happen inside. You're going to hear a rumor or everything inside your school, and that could lead from beef being outside. So the best way, I'll say for me, the best way I got blessed because I got a ticket given to me to go out and do other stuff. A drama company came to me and asked that you're chosen, you can come to this place and make a sandwich, you can chill there, get to know people. And me being like bare anxious, I said yes. I signed up for it and thought, let me see how it is. And once I actually started realizing there's other people who are not just in my school, but there's other people who exist in the world that I could actually vibe with, I could actually connect to more, and actually make something so I can pop the show that I've been surrounded with, take off the rock that I'm on, and make it, that means I could just express myself and just have so much less weight on me. Because even though for me, my place was a community centre,
Yeah.
it's called Platform. It got shut down a couple of weeks ago, but new management, everything. But once I was in that space, it made it so that means I knew the right people I can be with. Some of them were from my school as well, so I can't complain. Like, I actually got to bond them, I actually get to know the other side of them. Instead of just being, oh yeah, I'm a switch up because of the fact that it's school and everything. But when I'm outside, I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna be silly. And you actually get to joke and see how everybody actually chats, express themselves. Like, conversations you will never have because of the fact that you know how school is.
Of course.
But outside, you actually get to see the real people.
I definitely relate to that, especially as like myself, who does have the entrepreneurial aspect where I host events, right? Just like kind of how you mentioned. And one thing with my events is helped with the youth is where they can, you know, if they like music or they have something creative, instead of being on the roads, you know, maybe spitting on the street or whatnot, and then looking like they're doing something bad, they can actually come to a venue and get heard, you know. And especially with social media being a way how people need to push themselves out, you know, I feel like, you know, a good solution will be having more events to where youth of all ages can come through and express their creativity all in one room with other creatives, so that it's just not limited, pretty much. And I think that it's a blessing to be around that. But being a little conscious of time, but I think there's something that everyone has mentioned something good here. But if you guys had one quote, okay, whether it could be to your past self, whether it could be someone who possibly is going maybe along the wrong path, what's the one quote that's stuck with you throughout time?
So I'd start with, I'll say it's one of my quotes that I always kept telling myself, even if I was going through the lowest of times. So that means I can fix my mindset, be in the right path, and actually focus on if I'm doing the right thing for me, if I'm using my time the best way I can. And it was just be in the right mood, go make the right move, and enjoy life. Just making it so that means even if you feel lost or if you feel so unfocused about everything, if you just take one step at a time, 3 steps, that means you can start seeing, oh yeah, this is a goal that I want to do. I have all these options in life, and life can give you everything. You have every option, so as long as you focus and put your time towards it. And if you are in the right mood, and you start thinking more clearly, you start seeing less mist and less clouds, and you can actually focus your thought on where you want to reach. And then after that, you can start making moves very easy. You can start saying yes, you can start saying this is the right time to say no, and actually believe it. And make it so that means you can enjoy life after that, because you got more control. And you can enjoy it because the first step you did was be in the right mood.
Be in the right mood. I can connect with that. What about yourself?
I'm gonna think a bit globally here because I wanna. This is for like young people and adults. Because you said, Sharif, people aren't taking accountability. It takes a village to raise a child, in a sense where, for the youth, don't be sheltered. Accept opportunity. Accept help. The world of youth is such a small part of like what the big world has to offer, and how your life can end up if you explore those options. And for the adults, like the youth need help and aid, and maybe as a parent you're not providing anything, but there's opportunities to get help from all aspects, whether you want cooking, cleaning, understand your child more, you know, just what your child needs, how to connect with your child, how to help your child, you know, like not giving in a sense, but kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like find a light. Like
confide in you. So that's the quote I want. That's the quote I think of all the time. It takes a village to raise a child, because it's not like a single job. Parents you can't blame parents, and you can't blame the world. You have to like look at it as a conjunction of things. And for the youth as well, like as I said, I'm reiterating, youth violence is just a small thing of this world. Like your life can be so much more fulfilling if you just see what else is out there. Yeah.
I connect with that. I think for me is definitely, and I got tired of myself, practice like you never won, perform like you never lost. Meaning always do things in the best you can, regardless if you fail or even if you succeed, that's a bonus. But if you fail, it's still a blessing. Just as long as you did your best, that's all that matters, pretty much. And what would you say is yours?
I'll probably say one last message. I just think, just have an open mind. And I just think, I know it's hard, because, we're a product of our own environment, and it's very hard, because, as human beings, we can't blame, what we're used to and what that's been told to us and what we've grown up around, because at the end of the day, like, all we know is what we know and what we've been told and what we've grown up around. So it's very hard, but at the end of the day, if you're that sort of person that's willing to, step out the crowd and, actually come outside of your comfort zone and actually see the world from a different perspective and see the other side of the picture, then I can say that you're definitely going to win in life, because at the end of the day, it's very, it's easy to stay in our comfort zone. It's easy to just, stick to what we know and stick to what we're used to. But, it takes guts to actually see the light and see a different narrative and a different perspective. So, just one message I want to give is, there's always a bigger picture.
Very powerful from everyone today, very powerful. And I definitely will say that whoever's watching this, take it in, But quickly, where can they find you guys if they want to follow you on your journey? On Insta, TikTok, whatever it is. What do you guys use?
I'll say for me, like if you wanna meet me IRL as well, I have a setup at Lift, which is a another community center where people can go in, vibe. Auntie makes food there as well, and that means you can actually have a nice time there too, and munch up. So I'll say Lift is at Angel Islington as well, and for me my socials is SSX015 on Instagram.
If you wanna talk animation, art, just have someone to like pop ideas off of, a black artist as well. You can find me at Studio Cats on Insta. And then I'll see how we gauge, and then you can get my personal. But
And what about yourself?
So it will be, if you wanna shout, man, it will be Studios at STRILLY 12. So
Very short and sweet, very short and sweet. And myself, if you wanna find me on my, those who don't know, I'm an artist, I make music. You can find me on my artist page at TRAGE02 for all the Aquarius people out there. But more so as well, I have an events page so anyone that is looking to, express their creativity and talent and network. You can find me at NW Events Official. But more so, you might see a nice little something coming between MW Events and Dice in it, but we keep that one in the locker. But listen, it's been a pleasure having every single one of you here. And like I said, people, we are here as Dice. Hope you have picked up some gems. Thank you very much.
Thank you.